2010. When I got here in 2010, we found City Mission Church, and immediately I was able to plug in to the worship team, and I got to get involved with some of that stuff. I was burdened with this desire to really raise up a generation of worship leaders to help them understand the calling that they have on their lives, to understand the gifting that they had, and to raise them up to a level of operating in their gifting. And I wanted to provide an environment where they could come and they could practice their gift, or they could practice leading people in worship. And the vision that I had was to invite people into my home. I mean, I always had this desire to do studio work. I always, through the years, collected equipment that I knew I could use in one way or another to record music for the purpose of furthering God's kingdom, but I never had people who wanted to truly do it. And when I got here to Germany, like I said, God really put it on my heart to bring up worship leaders to help them cultivate their gift and grow their gift so that they could operate in their gifting. And so through that, God placed in my heart a desire to intentionally pause our lives to seek after him, to say, look, I know that we do church on Sundays. I know that we do, worship on Fridays with the youth, or we have midweek services. But those are, expected services. And so he called me to do this thing where I would invite people to the house, and we would intentionally say, hey, I want to stop everything I'm doing tonight, and I want to operate my gifting of music. I want to worship God, and I want to chase after him today. And so we just started inviting people over, people with a common denominator of, I'm feeling called to be a worship leader, and I know my gifting is in music. And so we started doing that, inviting people over to fellowship and then to spend time in worship. And then it started evolving into recording music. So.
Something happening there every time we sing that.
Why do you feel it is important to document the making of this project?
I think it's important to document it because I really feel like this is like the very beginning. Because I mean, it just seems like everything's starting to kind of mesh together for City Mission. Mm-hmm. And it's really starting to kind of push forward. And so I just wanted to, at least from the media side of the house, which is kind of my ministry, it's just to kind of document and see how it kind of came together. Because people are always interested in, well, like, how did this song come about, and where did this come from, and all that kind of stuff. So I wanted to get the background of that and just kind of present that.
Funnest part, oh man, probably just like whenever you're singing, sometimes you just do things and you sing things that are just really off. And so like going back later and listening to that is kind of fun because you're just like, oh man, I should not have improvised there, or I shouldn't have done this. But yeah, thank God for good editing and for Noel. Oh man. And now?
Good. Keep going. It really helps. I'm serious.
I know, really.
I'm serious. Okay. We used to do it every time. Really? Yeah. We would every time we started. It was turn to your neighbor and give them a quick neck massage, and so we go like, okay, turn to your other neighbor. Everybody's good, and then okay, let's warm up your face. Move your mouth around. Okay, good, ready. Let's go.
It's about time. We've been working on this for a long time. We've wanted to do it for several years now, and we just haven't had the means to do it, and the people come together, with the songs. And it just seems like the Lord has been pouring out incredible blessings of songs and resources to make it happen. And people resources, equipment. God's just really done a lot in that and sent a lot of people to make this happen.
Hallo.
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 Hi.
Wie geht's?
Gut. Nein.
Nein?
Nein.
Alles klar, ja?
Uh-huh.
I think I need more. Say something more.
Hallo.
Okay, I think that's okay.
He is victorious. He is strong in battle and in war.
I think that's my favorite. It's like I just need to think of how to come into it.
So we'll roll it.
Yeah. So throughout this album, a lot has happened with me personally, and it's all been about me trusting God and fully relying on Him and believing that the plans that He has for my life, the purpose that He's created me for, just really dedicating my life to that. He's spoken that over and over to me, and this is my calling. This is who He's called me to be. And so being obedient to Him and doing something that I love to do, making music, worshiping, that's been exciting. But yeah, I'd say the biggest thing that I'm taking away from this is I can trust Him. He's faithful. He's looking out for me every step of the road, and throughout the beginning stages of what we're doing right now, God's been with us. We've had a lot of questions, wanted to know how things work and how we can make things happen, how we can get this album out. And God's been faithful to just send support along our way and answers when we've really needed them. Sometimes I wish He would have spoken sooner, just because I would have felt better at the time. But all along the way, He's been like, just trust me, trust me. You can use every resource that you've got and still not have what you need. But if you trust me, then everything that I've put in your hands, it's enough, So that's been really cool.
It's all right. It's okay.
Stop.
I'm out of Periscope, sir.
Okay.
I'm making pictures with my eye. Pictures worth 1,000 words. Record it.
All right.
Okay.
You ready?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
Are you almost ready?
No.
No.
Actually, when I was recording Victorious, that was actually as I was recording it, it was such an intense battle, because the same battle that I've been going through as I wrote it, I was going through as I was singing it. And so it was just this bombardment on my mind, and trying to just push through and to record that, even when you don't feel such an intense victory or joy in that moment, to record it. But it was really raw, because it's pushing through and singing this and saying and proclaiming that this is truth, whether I feel it or not.
Erinnere ich mich zurück an unseren Missionseinsatz in Moldawien und den Moment, wo ich das Lied schrieb, muss ich immer an ein kleines Mädchen denken. Sie besuchte immer unsere Kinderprogramme oder kam einfach, um uns zu besuchen, wissend, dass ihre Mutter jede Sekunde kommen könnte und sie rufen würde, um sie zu schlagen. Ihre Mutter, Zeugin Jehovas, arbeitete gegen die Gemeinde. Und doch spürte das kleine Mädchen, dass etwas anders war. Sie sang, hörte zu und betete mit, hungrig nach Gottes Liebe. Eines Abends saß ich mit ihr auf den Treppen. Es war warm, sie war kaputt. Und dennoch zeigte sie immer mit ihren erwartungsvollen Augen auf meine Gitarre. Und so fing ich an, das Lied zu schreiben. So Much More heißt das Lied, weil sie mich immer wieder erinnert hat, dass so viele Menschen nicht wissen, dass es so viel mehr im Leben gibt. Dass es jemanden gibt, der ihren Durst und Hunger stillen kann.
God give them the hope, God give them the strength to believe.
Victorious was during a really rough time, just like every day, just feeling like I'm not going to be able to make it, like such an intense battle. And like there are moments where you worship, and then there are moments where it's like all you can do, like you have to get away to worship. And it was really in that moment that I came downstairs in the sanctuary, and I just started singing this song about the victory of God, because I realized that there wasn't any victory in me and that I couldn't really overcome this, but the only hope was in Him. So it's really just, He is victorious, and I don't have to worry about what's going to happen in the end, because the war has been won.
So when we first started, I didn't know what I was doing. You know, I was thinking to myself, like, how am I going to capture the heart of these people? How am I going to capture the passion that they have for the Word and for God and for Jesus and the music that they're writing? And so when we started off, I said, let's just do it, you know? I honestly had no understanding of any of the software, any of this equipment, you know? I didn't know. I mean, I've done some recordings of some personal music, but I've never worked in a studio with other artists or other people. And so we just kind of jumped all in, and I thought that was going to be it. But about about a month into it, as I started seeing other songs develop from the music, and specifically a track called Selah, God really grabbed my heart, and He said, this is so much more than you think. And from that moment, every time I hear the music, it's like God's presence falls. It's like His Word goes forward. And when I turn the music on, it's like there's just no words to really describe it. So that's by far the best memory I had of the whole project in general, is the moment that God took it and said, you think that you're doing this, you're going through the motions of hitting record, pushing buttons and sliding faders, but there's so much more. And He began to show that stuff to me. So my end game for the project would be, and hopefully it's the same with everyone involved with the project, that people would come to know Christ through it. You know, that they would realize there's no magical formula, but it's my hope that when people hear the music, when people see the story behind the music and they hear the story behind the music, that they would see the passion, that they would see the hope, that they would see the love that Christ has to offer, and think to themselves, you know, I want what they have. Why do I feel a certain way when I listen to this music? I want God to prick their hearts, and I want them to be curious enough to really reach out and make a life commitment to follow Christ, really. I mean, in the end, that's what it's all about. You know, that's why we're here. So I just hope that my involvement with the project would allow that to be accomplished in the end game. So
I would say a lot of hard work, a lot of prayers, a lot of time, effort, money, energy went into this. And we didn't do it for money. We didn't do it to make ourselves well known, to make ourselves famous. And I know you probably hear that from Christian artists all around the world. And I know watching videos of other Christian artists, Hillsong, you know, all these other people, they say that. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever, fine. But actually being involved in the project and seeing it come together and seeing people's passion for Christ, you know, in this and worshiping for God, so much heart has been poured into this. And so I would just say, listen to the album and just listen to what God says to you through it.
Yeah.
And I would, as a special shout out, I would also like to say thank you to Bridget Merhan for hosting, and the Merhan family for hosting us here. I mean, it's honestly, without them starting the whole, you know, Saturday night hangout thing, I guarantee this probably wouldn't have happened. It's because of that, and that we're faithful to God's calling in that the worship people were able to get together and just jam out, and that's how it's, you know, the genesis of this whole thing started. So I would like to say thank you so much for doing that.